Trumpeter on the rise. New generation of instrumentalists playing for keeps. Okiel Mcintyre staking his claim to follow in the footsteps of that other hornman, Dean Fraser.
The trumpet is a really unforgiving instrument. If you stop playing for like a month, you kind of start losing certain, because it's all about the ears. You can't just, like a piano, you just press the note and you get it. You have to be actually playing the note with your lips.
Okiel Mcintyre didn't pick up a musical instrument until he was 12, so a bit of a late starter.
Turns out I was some kind of prodigy, and I got through to the advanced band in about 6 months, and then they needed another instrument, so I started playing the euphonium, and then they needed a trumpet player. So at 15, I started playing the trumpet.
From Herbert Morrison to community college, but swapping a business degree to move from Mobe to Kingston, and a place at Edna Manley School of Music. Tough times along the way.
I didn't have full support from the family because, as you know, music is called a hobby by most Jamaican parents. Them say, find a real job.
So you struggled?
Struggled hard.
How bad did it get?
Really bad. It got to a point where, I was just cooking some seasonings like onions and flour just to get by.
Who helped you?
Well, I was living with my friend who called me. So we lived together for 4 years at Reese Road by Mullines Road, yeah. That was quite an experience. It wasn't the best. If it wasn't for my friend, his name is Okiel Mcintyre, he was the drummer in the band. It was like, we don't even know the word to put that. It was just like a guy. Exactly. He was sent by God, yeah, to help me through that rough period of time in my life.
How did that whole period where things were really hard, things were really difficult, did it have a spillover effect?
It was like I would just have to continue working on my craft and let it be the thing that pays my bills. That was what that was all about. Just believing in what I have and that it is good enough and it was great enough to get me to where I need to be in life. That was one of the first things somebody told me when I started playing, is to work on your sound, because if you don't sound good and you can play the fastest things in life, people are not going to listen to you. For example, like Mr. Dean Fraser, he is a man with a sound. If you really check it out, like a sax player is so loved. And if you hear a sax man, you just love hearing a sax player because he's so smooth. And yeah, so I wanted to bring that to the trumpet world in Jamaica.
Dean Fraser, not just a sax man, but one of the foremost musicians in Jamaica and a mentor to Okiel, who also rates Don Drummond, the Scatolites Johnny Dizzy Moore and Clifford Brown as his leading lights. Okiel and Dean linking up after a session at Grafton Studio in 2018.
I couldn't believe that I got the opportunity to play with like an idol, a legend. It was, I'm at a loss for words. It's just a lot to take in at one point, because when you see him in the studio, it's a complete different. It's like a performance in itself. He's very disciplined about his craft. So when he says play la da 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 da, and you play la da 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 da, he get mad at you and say, "Come on, Kilo, play the thing right, get back into it." So it was like a drill sergeant, and he's getting me ready to take up the mantle, because he's getting up in age, so he wants somebody to be taking over the thing.
But instrumentalists like Okiel Mcintyre and Dean Fraser virtually drowned out by digital music.
It's not super original. You can't tell the difference between rhythm 1 and rhythm 2. It's a lot of that. So I would like for them to be thinking about more original sounding productions. So I want to be a part of it, but we want it to be positive music that is uplifting and something that will feed your soul. That is what I would love to see in music right now.
Horns making a bit of a comeback, something not lost, hopefully, on local producers.
Afrobeat is really becoming like dancehall, the new dancehall, like, and there's a lot of horns in there, like, especially the saxophone. The saxophone always get the work. But my hope is that they will consider using new instruments like the flute or include a violin just to make it fresh.
Fresh possibilities opening up for Okiel as a busy session musician and on the road.
I think I have gone through that door, of possibilities, that now I'm just along for the ride, where I'm just being catapulted through the whole music industry. It's happening too fast, I think. It's so fast, so fast. What's changed? I would say the reputation that I've developed over the couple of years that I've been working with Dean as a very proficient trumpeter, very professional. I've worked with Sean Paul, Buju, Shaggy on his recent album that he released, what is that, like a jazz cover, the jazz cover album. Dean Fraser's album. We've worked with Tad's Records on a lot of songs, and it's been just growing. Clive Hunt, it's just a lot of names.
Including recent and upcoming gigs with Coffee in Sweden and Holland. Then off to Spain for shows with Sly Dunbar, Dean and the Revolutionaries.
It's a crazy little run. In pop music, there's a lot of room to grow and flex, so it's just to have really good sound, have a good mind, good ear for music.
Have you crafted your own sound?
I think so. I've really tried not to sound like anybody else, deliberately, because you get caught up in this thing where you want to sound like this super bright trumpet player, like for example, like Arturo Sandoval. He's considered one of the greatest from Cuba, and he's so bright, super bright. I tend to play a little more mellow, smooth, something like anybody can listen to and like it. I have to work on my sound to have that distinct thing about me that says every time you hear this pop, it's Okiel Mcintyre.